Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. You straight gangsters over here.
Straight
man.
gangsters. Yeah, good morning and welcome back. You are listening to Scout Team Radio. We bring it to you hot and live each and every morning, Monday through Friday, right here on 12-Ounce Sports Radio. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
And the man on that other microphone, he is a great American. He is a great patriot. You may know him as
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is your boy, Chris America, coming to you live this Wednesday? Yes, it is a Wednesday, September 25th, 2019. It is a wacky Wednesday with Scooter and the Jizz.
Yeah. I love it. I love Wednesdays. I don't know what it is about Wednesdays. Maybe it's the old hump day. Maybe it's the old wacky Wednesday. There's just something special about Wednesdays. And I need to give you a quick update. Yesterday, you broke the story about the man throwing babies out a window. And the update is Nelson Aguilar, he has come out and he spoke about this incident. Even though the man throwing babies out the window gave a little shade onto Nelson Aguilar, Aguilar's feelings were not hurt. He says, you know what? Come on, bro. Come to a game. We're going to give you the VIP treatment. Welcome to the family. We want this guy out at a game. So Nelson Aguilar, even though he was thrown shade on, he responds and really gives this guy that's saving babies the red carpet treatment. That's how the Philadelphia Eagles do it, Chris America. Isn't this a heartwarming story?
It is, and, you know, it's good to see Nelson Aguilar take this attitude because if you're going to play in Philly, you got to have some really thick skin. And I think that really just applies to anybody who plays sports. And this is the way to handle it. Don't sit there and get all upset and be like, oh, yeah, we got a bunch of Monday morning quarterbacks here, blah, blah, blah. No, just roll with it. Take the punches, man. Roll with the punches. And don't forget, this guy saved babies. This guy was a hero. So him and his coworker, hopefully his coworker's in on it too.
Yeah, there you go. Baby saving. I mean, you can't get any better than that. I mean, going and saving babies out of a burning building, like that is one of the best ways to save people, or just saving people in general is great. But I'm just saying that this is an epic story. So good for them and good for Nelson Aguilar. Like you said, roll with the punches. Totally roll with it the way you should. And more athletes need to take that route, I think. I think that would be a lot better. Take the high road. Go the cool route. It's the best way to do it.
And, you know, maybe they should do some, like, baby catching drills. Like, get, like, a high crane and then just take, like, a whole bunch of, like, you know, Cabbage Patch dolls up there and just toss them off and have Aguilar trying to catch them. And maybe that'll help him become a better wide receiver.
Yeah, that'd be a perfect hands drill. I think that you got something here, Chris America. You got something.
You know what? Maybe because, you know, like when you're in high school, they give you like an egg to take care of. Maybe they just drop some eggs from a really high place and you got to catch those. Soft hands.
I hated that. I broke my egg.
Oh, man. Good thing your human eggs are still alive and well and kicking, Loudbeard.
I know. You know, thinking back, it really wasn't a fair, I guess, drill. I mean, treating an egg like a human. No, it's totally different. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
That's a different feeling. I get what the spirit of that is, but no.
But the egg isn't going to ask you to play Frozen over and over and over again on your way to South Carolina. Maybe that's what we need to do to kids or teenagers in these classes. Be like, oh, you want to have unprotected sex? Here, listen to this for the next hour in class, and then we'll see if you want to change your mind. All right, we're going to hit play now, and we'll see you in an hour.
There you go. Well, Chris America, for being a wacky Wednesday, I got all kinds of different directions we can go. You know what? It's that time of the year where NHL hockey preseason's coming up, baseball postseason's coming up, you've got, and I say coming up, they're both basically here, and you've got football and you've got college football. I mean, like, there is so much going on right now. It is unbelievable. But I'm gonna start us off talking a little baseball because it's heating up with the playoffs. And last night, ironically, the Washington Nationals punched their ticket. They beat the Philadelphia Phillies and Bryce Harper. The Phillies are officially eliminated, and the Nationals are in the playoffs. So, looking back, $330 million ago, do you think the Phillies still made a good deal with Bryce Harper?
Well, now I want there to be like a bank robbery or a convenience store robbery, and then a guy comes in with a baseball bat and hits the robber and knocks him out, and they arrest him, and he's the big hero, and then he's like, yeah, I just swung the bat and made connection and hit a home run, unlike Bryce Harper.
That's what would have been perfect. That's what we need in this story. There needs to be a little bit of a little excitement. We need a little Philadelphia.
A little
they can do
pizzazz.
this. Yeah, they have robberies. I think the statistic is 17 robberies every 17 seconds. So yeah, that should happen. And I don't know why it hasn't already. I really don't.
Yeah,
I can't explain it.
Come on, heroes with baseball bats, get on it.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, the Nationals, they decided not to dump the money truck back to Bryce Harper. And the two big names in the offseason, Manny Machado, who goes to the Padres, and Bryce Harper, who goes over to the Phillies, both of those teams aren't even in the playoffs. You spend all of that money, and you get nothing. You get nothing out of it. And honestly, I don't know that their records are that much better because if I remember correctly, the Phillies were in the playoffs last year. And now with Bryce Harper and his exorbitant salary, they're not. So I don't know that that's a positive start for this Bryce Harper era.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it like a week or two ago about how it's really hard for one player to make a big difference in baseball. It just is. I can't think of any position in baseball where they can make a huge impact towards truly wins and enough wins to where they make playoffs, where maybe the next year they didn't. And unfortunately, the opposite can be true, where they can suck up a lot of money from the ownership, and so they got to get rid of some guys, move some guys, and bring in some other cheaper talent, like 3 or 4 guys to help make up for the money that they lost to the one Bryce Harper or the one Manny Machado. And now that hurts your team. And that's why you see Phillies going from playoff team to non-playoff team.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely a good point. Now, the Houston Astros are going to be faced with a dilemma. Their hot star, Garrett Cole, their pitcher, he's going to be coming up for free agency next year. And what every good Major League Baseball player, or really good any athlete, does is they have the best year of their life going into a contract, or in their contract year, right? Like, that is the time that you shine. So Garrett Cole is having the career year, and right now the Astros will be faced with a very difficult decision with this guy. But that leads me to one thing, and that is I'm going to ask you a couple baseball trivia questions about Garrett Cole, Chris America, and I'm going to make it where it's a little bit fun. I know you're my baseball aficionado, just kind of like Anthony Mack with the men, but this one I think you're going to be okay with. I'm going to try to throw them up your way. All right, so Garrett Cole, he's a pitcher for the Astros. He has had now 20 starts with double-digit strikeouts, tying a Major League record with 3 Major League Baseball Hall of Fame pitchers. These are possibly the 3 biggest names in Major League pitching history. Can you name 2 out of the 3?
Nolan Ryan.
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Tom Glavine.
Nope.
Ty Cobb.
Nope.
No, that's not what
so
I'm thinking. Hold on. Hold on. Cy Young.
no, not that young. All right. Well, one more guess.
I'm trying to think of the pitcher from the Atlanta Braves in the 90s who's really good, but I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, you're thinking of Greg Maddux.
Greg Maddux. Yeah.
Yep. Not Greg Mack. So Randy Johnson.
Oh wait, Randy Johnson.
Yep, Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan, and Sandy Koufax. So the reason I bring this up is, oh my gosh, those are like the 3 best pitchers, and you to be put into that category. We're watching some of the greatest pitching of all time with Garrett Cole. But great job with that trivia, by the way. I threw it on you impromptu, and you nailed it out of the park. Nolan Ryan right off the bat. I loved it.
Right. Not Bryce
Yeah,
Harper off
so-
the bat, though.
Yeah,
Did Bryce Harper even have a good season this year?
Nah,
I mean, that's
really.
the real question. Like, if you're getting paid that much, you should at least be in the MVP talks year in and year out, right?
No, I agree with you, and the answer is no. He's not in the MVP talk. I mean, I could pull up his stats for you, but I think it's pretty ho-hum. I want to say his average is around 250, and you know what I mean? Like, just nothing to write home about. And when you're paying that much money, you expect something a little bit better out of it. Yeah, his average this year is 258, but that is actually higher than what his batting average was last year. His batting average was 249 last year. So it was
at least he's improved.
Yeah. There we go. It's better. Now in 2017 he batted 319, and in 2015 he batted 330. And so that's kind of what you were hoping to get out of Bryce Harper. But in 16, 18, and now in 19, he's around that 250 mark. And that's just not good enough for a player that you're spending $330 million for.
But Loudbeard chicks dig the long ball. Is he giving the chicks the long ball?
A little bit. He might be giving them a little bit of the long ball. Of course, I'm not looking at it right now. So
Okay.
I mean, this stat thing I pulled up, it's got at-bats, runs, hits, RBIs, and then average. Why doesn't it have home runs?
Why didn't it have home runs? Chicks dig the long ball. Every single stat line should have home runs.
33
Who cares about
home
any of
runs.
that?
There
33.
you go. I found it.
Okay.
33. I had to move to a different page.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. But
So
here's
he got paid about $1 million per home run.
yeah. It's like 10 million per
Well,
home
just
run.
for this year, he's not getting paid $330 million this year. He's getting paid $33 million a year. So $1 million per home run. He's got to keep
There
that
you go.
pace up.
It's worth it. Where a team like the Yankees, they set a major league record. They actually have 14 players that get double-digit home runs. Even their benchers, even the backups, all hitting home runs. This has been like a crazy year in baseball. We talked about it, I think, at the beginning of the year where they were all like, oh, the stitching's tighter this year and the balls are juiced.
They're juiced.
I believe it. I believe the balls got juiced. That's what she said.
Mm.
I don't know why that joke never gets old. It probably gets old for everybody but me. I love it.
Did you see that Garrett Cole 91-mile-an-hour Bohemian Rhapsody slider?
I did not. The one that just keeps going.
Just keeps going, and he killed a man with it. Just, dude swung at it and fell right on his butt.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, Your Honor.
Yeah, so, all right, well, that was baseball talk.
Well,
you didn't think we were
Loudbeard-
going to hit it out of the park this early, did you?
No, I didn't. But you mentioned all the things that are coming up, and I have a question for you because you've been a longtime homeowner. I'm now a homeowner where I can actually like decorate and put stuff in a yard. When is the time to put up Halloween decorations? Is it this week? Is it the 1st of October? When is it? When is it okay? Because I know like with Christmas decorations, I generally always put them up like the weekend after Thanksgiving. So that's always like the week before December 1st.
This is a great question, Chris America. We've gotten into Libra season, so we know that it is now time. I would say this weekend's a good weekend to do it. I always err on the side of put them up early because it's a pain in the butt to put up decorations, so you might as well enjoy them for as long as possible. I have seen, I think it was one house in my community that's already started putting up Halloween decorations.
Yeah.
To me, that means the go light is on. Like, it is now time. So if you did it this weekend, that is fair game. There is nothing wrong with that.
But
usually, usually I go for like the first weekend in October, maybe the first or last weekend in September. So
Yeah.
you're falling in that range. That sounds about right.
Now, I will say this, though, because I thought about this earlier. Like, I wanted to put up my decorations earlier just because it's like, man, maybe if I put them up, the weather will get cooler. Like, Mother Nature will take the hint. But then I sat there and I was like, well, the thing about living in Florida is if you put them up early, a hurricane or a tropical storm can roll in, and then you got to take them all down, and bring them all back inside, and then put them all back up after that. So I guess you got to check the tropics, too, before you put them up.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever done that. I feel like
I know one
I've
year,
been
I think
fortunate.
I think like 3 years ago, we had Hurricane Matthew, like, came through like October 9th or 10th or somewhere around there. And I remember a lot of people having to bring in all their decorations.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit better, and you may be a little different than I am, but I don't deck out as hardcore for Halloween as I do for Christmas per se. And so, I'll have like a pumpkin out and maybe like a nice wreath on the door and a few different, just little nice things. Right now I have like a scarecrow looking thing, like a fall harvest thing out in the front yard. And which I did put out the other day. So yeah, I'm all decorated up. I haven't got all my Halloween, but I put one thing out. But
So you just got 2 more things to put up in your
yeah,
set.
there you go. I'm almost there, halfway.
Yeah,
Halfway.
honestly, like, my dream would be to start building up to where I could have like a haunted yard, like a little trail through my yard to the door. Like, that'd be awesome. That'd be the way to do it. I gotta test out the trick or treaters in this area, though. You know, there's some neighborhoods you get a ton of trick or treaters, and other neighborhoods you'll sit there with your full bowl of candy and only hand out like 3 pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, I think trick-or-treating's gotten a little weird. Just having young kids, I think you're kind of in the same boat as I am, where you go out and you realize that people aren't trick-or-treating as much as they used to.
They're doing stupid trunk or treats and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Trunk or treat is a thing.
All based off of an urban legend that's never happened.
Wait, razor blades in the candy
Razor
apples?
blades, poison candy, like that's never happened. There's never been a reported case of a kid being poisoned by trick-or-treating candy.
Yeah. And, like as a good parent, you have to say, let me check your bag, make sure there's no...
Right. Make sure that there's nothing... And then, like, how many times have you checked it, and then you're like, all right, this is kind of stupid. Like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, no. I don't even know if I've been that good about checking it. I'm kind of at
I think I did it once when you're first a parent, and then you kind of realize this is dumb. And then once I heard that it's never, ever happened before in the history of time, then I just stopped checking altogether.
I feel like there's so many more dangers out in the world that we should be worried about.
There really are. Like all of the, like diabetes. You should probably be more concerned about the diabetes your children can get from all this candy than anything else.
It's fair. That's a real problem.
Or is it diabetes? I have diabetes.
It's definitely diabetes.
Oh, well, Loudbeard, we had an exciting announcement, and I feel like, once football season starts, I think some of the people across the country, they kind of get annoyed with us because we do go a little heavy on the UCF talk, but UCF's an exciting team to talk about, and they announced some exciting news, Loudbeard. Did you hear the exciting news announced yesterday by UCF?
Yep. You got some scheduled opponents coming up, some good ones.
They scheduled 2 home and homes with 2 teams, with BYU and Boise State, and those are 2 teams that you can't shake your fist at or say, oh, that's just Group of 5. They need to be Power 5. I think BYU and Boise State have proven definitely this year that they're just as good, if not better, than most Power 5 teams.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And Boise State, they're the team that UCF gets compared to the most. I don't think it's a fair comparison, but when you hear the ESPN people, the terrible announcers like that were on the UCF Pitt game the other night, they always compare UCF to Boise State like, oh, it's just this Cinderella story and yada, yada, yada. So if you're going to compare us, we might as well play each other and show that these 2 Power 5 or non-Power 5 powers can go up and battle each other. So I think it's a fantastic series that was scheduled.
And you know what I like about a series like this is I love that they're 2 teams with different climates, different elevations, and everything. So you have UCF players they're going to have to go out to these areas that are way high up. The air is thinner, the air is colder, and see how they do in those elements. And then those two teams have to come in return and come down to the hot swamp of Orlando.
Yeah, I
It
love
gets
it.
hot. It gets hot down here.
It's not as
Now-
hot as Tallahassee, though, because that's where you really got to hydrate.
You got to really hydrate up there. Now, Loudbeard, there was another announcement that we missed, and it was last week, I believe, or earlier this week. Maybe not earlier this week because it's only like 3 days old, but it was sometime within the last 2 weeks. UF has announced another home and home with a Power 5 team with Utah, and I think UCF and Danny White embarrassed the hell out of Florida to start scheduling real games, because since this whole UCF Florida back and forth, Florida's done nothing but schedule some really good opponents. I know they scheduled one with Texas, Utah, and then there was another team that I can't think of off the top of my head that they scheduled a home and home with. But I have to say thank you to UCF for finally getting my Florida Gators to schedule some real teams and give me some real entertainment throughout the season, instead of me having to take 4 weeks off because they decided they'd rather have 4 cupcakes than give me entertaining football.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, man. That's good to see. That's what you want. These SEC teams, they really have a formula where they want to go all cupcakes. And I think some of them will maybe schedule that one tough game out of conference each year, but that's it if you're lucky. And I think
it'll
Florida,
be a neutral site game.
right? Oh yeah, and Florida
Which nobody
kind of
wants
had
to
been
see.
doing that.
I hate neutral site games. I think they're a spit in the face to college football. And if you want to sit there as a college and a university, say, oh, we can't pay players because there's not enough money, and this is about amateurism, and this is about the colleges, and players should be about team, like Tim Tebow's saying. Well, college football and college sports was started out for the students to go to the games and have entertainment and all this other stuff. And now you're telling these students, hey, well, one game a year, we're taking a game away from you, and we're going to go to Atlanta or Dallas or wherever within the country. Like, think about the Oregon students who, no Oregon student can afford. Okay, there might be some. All right, so most Oregon students can't afford to travel all the way down to Dallas to go watch Oregon play Auburn. Those games should be scheduled home and home, because these games are for the students. If you want to talk about this being college athletes and college sports, and it's about the colleges and the amateurism, then stop with these stupid neutral site games.
Yep, I agree with you. Now, you see this tweet coming in from Mike Berlon. I love this question, or I love this statement, I should say. He says, he's tweeting in at Scout Team Radio, as all of our listeners should do. Make sure you hit us up on Twitter. He says, the thing that worries me about those UCF schedule announcements is that it would appear Power 5 teams are afraid to schedule UCF. So UCF almost has to settle for BYU and Boise State.
That's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. And you hear them say it over and over again when they're making these crappy debates, or even during football games where they're making these hot takes and hot comments. And they say it all the time, like, it doesn't behoove these schools to schedule UCF because then they might lose. Okay, well, thank you for saying that, Captain Obvious. So then the system clearly needs to change, because those who have the power to change it won't, because it shows that it benefits them. And then they'll sit there and they'll tell UCF, well, you can come to the playoffs if you play some tougher schedules. Okay, we want to play you. No, hold on there, UCF. We didn't mean play us. We just meant somebody else, because we're too scared to play you. And that's what it boils down to. They want to use money and stuff, but that's part of it. But really, they're just hiding behind the fact that not only do they want to lose money, they just don't want to lose a football game.
Yeah, and it's a tough situation. The American Athletic Conference, known as the American, they've got some really good teams, but they're always going to be pushed to the side. Now, UCF's in there, but Mike Berlon, his show, Craft Brewed Sports, comes on every Wednesday night. Listen to it here on 12 Ounce Sports Radio, and today is Wacky Wednesday, so it's a good time to listen. They're up in Cincinnati, and University of Cincinnati's kind of got that same thing going on, where they're never going to get over the top because they're not a Power 5 team. So UCF's got it. Boise State is in the same situation. So now UCF is having to say, okay, who are these non-Power 5 teams, not in our conference, that we're going to go up against. And I love the fact that they're playing Boise State. I think that's going to be such a great matchup. But Mike Berlon is so right, man. Where are the Power 5 matchups at? Now, UCF had already previously scheduled matchups against UNC and Georgia Tech. So over the next 5-6 years, they've got several Power 5 matchups. But, Georgia Tech and UNC aren't really powerhouses in the world of Power 5, are they?
No, but they have reason to believe that they have a bright future. UNC's got Mac Brown, and I can't remember which coach Georgia Tech hired. Like, the name escapes me, but I know he's a solid coach. He comes from one of the Urban Meyer trees, I believe, and we should see that Georgia Tech team be turned around now that they're no longer running an offense out of 1902.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. Yeah, they fell apart, but you're right. They're going to pull it back together. But yeah, this is the crazy thing about scheduling is, the Stanford game for UCF was scheduled in 2014. In 2004, in 5 years, a lot changes. A lot of these games now scheduled are for 2021, 2023. You start getting 3-5 years out.
The UF Texas game isn't going to be until 2029.
Yeah, you don't know what these teams are going to be in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You know what I mean?
Alabama. I want to say Alabama's scheduled like Notre Dame in like 10 years, and that's good for Nick Saban. Like, he doesn't have to worry about that game. He'll be retired by then.
Right. He'll be retired, or he'll be coaching at age 80.
Right.
I mean,
to where
either way,
will probably have him fall off.
or a broken hip.
Yeah.
Either way, he'll be still tough though.
He'll
still
have that same scour on his face though.
Yes. You can't change the Nick Saban scour.
He'll be complaining about kids with holes in their jeans.
And the attendance after halftime when they're blowing out a cupcake. Yeah.
I don't understand why you guys won't sit in this 99-degree weather to watch us win 55-3 against a team you've never heard of.
That's not team spirit. That is not team spirit.
But when we do play big out of conference games, we're gonna take these games away from you, and we're gonna make you travel and buy hotel rooms and buy expensive tickets that you can't afford.
I don't quite understand the neutral site games because I would think as a school you would want it on your campus.
Yeah, I think the TV and the stadiums just pay out way more money than what they can make, and then they don't have to worry about paying for police and security and all that goes into running a stadium. You know what I mean? That's taken off of their plate. So the ESPN and, like, let's say the Georgia Dome, I don't know what it's called now, but let's say they hand them like $2 million. Well, that's $2 million in pocket, where let's say Florida has a home game and they make $2 million, but they still got to pay out, money to their concession stands and their security and the police and the guy that cleans up behind everybody that can't seem to find a trash can at a game. I don't understand what that's about. I never understand people who leave their trash at their seats.
Oh, so you're saying that they don't care about the fans. They don't care about
they don't care about the fans. They care about the money.
They don't care about the students. They don't care about any of that.
They don't care about the student athletes.
No, none of it.
It's just all about the money. That's all it's about. And then they want to say, but you're an amateur. We're an amateur sport. Even though every single decision we make is based off of cash.
Man, I know how to really, push your buttons. Once I talk about some college sports and amateurism
just the politics and the bureaucracy of college sports is what bothers me. The games, the football games between the two teams, I love it. There's nothing like it. There really isn't. But then it just pisses me off when, for some of those teams, none of it really matters.
Yes, this is so true.
Well, Loudbeard, I kind of derailed the conversation. You had all these topics lined up, and I kind of derailed us from there, especially once I bring up UCF, too. Once I bring up UCF, then it's done. It's donezo.
Yeah, it's Wacky
we
Wednesday.
Can't stop. So
Wacky
let's get back to Wacky Wednesday. What we got on the other side of the break?
Whatever you want to talk about. I mean, I might talk about Hannah B killing it on Dancing with the Stars. I may talk about Jurassic World 3 announcement coming. And I also may talk...
Which actors may or may not be in it.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Stay tuned. We'll be back here in just a moment. Hey, Kawhi, what are you laughing at, man? This isn't funny. Fantasy sports reimagined. FanDuel, that's what I'm talking about. It is more than just fantasy sports. It's the best way to watch the games, win real cash, and bring the action right to your living room. Just choose the contest, make your picks, watch, and win. And if you go to FanDuel.com/STR today, you can get a $5 deposit bonus. Once again, that's FanDuel.com/STR. Come on, man. This is not a laughing matter. If you've been listening to Scout Team Radio for a long time, you know that myself, Loudbeard, has placed a bet or two in his day. That's right, I've lost the beard bet, I lost the romper bet, but one place I don't like losing is when I bet money, and I can easily do that at MyBookie. That's right, you can go to mybookie.ag, use promo code 12OZSports, and get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Hey, guess what? That is a lot of money. Do it.
When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. Ah, 12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst. Hey everybody, it's your favorite Patriot, Chris America, and I want you to listen every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and on replays from 11 a.m. to noon of Scout Team Sports. Listen, George Washington did not cross over the ocean blue in 1492 to defeat the Nazis, so you can listen to the same tired national clickbait sports stories. So once again, tune in to us every single morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then we replay from 11 to noon. I will see you there, and God bless America.
Yes, God bless America. God bless Canada. God bless all the people in the great world that we live in. Welcome back. You are listening to Scout Team Radio. We come at you live each and every morning, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. right here on 12-ounce sports radio. If you cannot catch the live show, that is okay. You can always download that podcast. Go catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, anywhere you find a podcast. You can hit us up. Just search Scout Team Radio, and you will find the greatness. Each and every episode, every day, will be downloaded on that podcast. Make sure you download it and check it out. We also want you to get interactive. Make sure you're hitting us up on the Scout Team Radio Twitter handle. If you tweet at us, we will read your tweets on the air, and we will talk about your topics, your subjects, any of that good stuff. So make sure you hit us up live on the show at Scout Team Radio, or if you are not listening live, you are listening to that podcast, don't feel bad if you have to go and tweet at us the next day, because we will talk about it the following show. No big deal. We love that interaction. Make sure you hit us up at Scout Team Radio. And I also want to thank the Full Press Radio Network and the Barn Burner Radio Network for us being a part of those also. So moving on, entertainment. I'm gonna talk a little entertainment with you, Chris America. A big announcement in the movie world. You and I we like to be movie buffs. We do a sports entertainment show, and we sprinkle in a little moviness. There we go. So that was a great job you did right there. Calling me out on my doo-doo. Just that's all I do.
But I love the silent radio chicken we just played.
I was like, do I break it? Do I break it? Do I break it? No, I'm letting it happen. That's okay, because it is time to do that doo-doo. And one of the biggest animals in the world to have a piece of doo-doo is a dinosaur. And Jurassic World.
There was a big one in the movie Jurassic Park, remember?
There was. Remember, they had to check it out to see if there was some sort of
had to.
infectious disease. Had to go shoulder deep. Shoulder deep. That's serious.
Shoulder deep. That's your new fantasy football name.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So the first question when I saw this news, before we break the news itself on the air, was, is there really a need for another Jurassic movie? I don't know. Is there?
If you ask my son, yes. He loves these things. He loves them.
Yeah.
He's at that age where he doesn't care how bad the plot is. He doesn't care how many they make. Just keep them coming.
Yeah, I kind of thought that might be the answer. I was thinking about it, and I think as long as there's dinosaurs involved, there's going to be a lot of people interested. It's just going to be interesting. And
yeah. But they did get smart with it, because this is the third Jurassic World, and they know that Jurassic Park 1 was good, 2 was okay, and 3 is where they fell off the cliff, right? So
Yes.
this time they're like, okay, what do we have to do to make sure that this doesn't happen? How do we keep people interested in this storyline and everything else? And there's no better way to keep people interested, Loudbeard, than nostalgia.
I like it.
So what they did is they took the 3 major actors and actress, Laura Dern, who was the other person?
Sam Neill and Jeff
Sam
Goldblum.
Neill and Jeff Goldblum, all reprising their roles from the original cast as Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm, or should I say Dr. Ian Malcolm. And I think that is what's going to make people who probably would have not gone and seen this movie, it's like a third Jurassic World, kind of like you, they brought those guys back, and now, I'm not saying you are, but I think a lot of people will say, well, crap, well, now I got to see it, because I love Jeff Goldblum, and, Ian Sattler and Alan Grant, those were my 2 homies from the first Jurassic Park and the second one when I was a kid. I got to go see it.
And I was kind of looking to see this, but I couldn't tell, and I didn't see it announced anywhere, but I wonder if Chris Pratt's going to be in this one. Are they going to mesh worlds, or is it going to... I don't know.
For me, I think that has to work that way, right? Otherwise, I'm like, okay, so now it's just Jurassic Park again.
Right. I agree with you. That's what I need to know, confirming that Chris Pratt's going to be in this, because you got the Chris Pratt world, and then you got the original OG Jurassic Park people.
Right.
It's going to be a perfect mix.
And you know that, like, Alan Grant and whatever, I can't remember the character Chris Pratt plays, will get into some arguments about what to do, and it'll be hilarious with Chris Pratt's humor, because, like, one's the older, dinosaur expert, and Chris Pratt's the younger, flashy expert. That makes for some good comedy scenes, if written well.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So that's the one key component that we're missing here is Chris Pratt in it? Or are they just assuming that Chris Pratt is going to be in it because it's part of this Jurassic World, and then they're just letting us know what the other people that are going to be in it are? I don't know. I guess it's a great announcement. I'm not necessarily super excited because I saw the second Jurassic World, and it was okay. It was, it was entertaining for what it was, but, it just wasn't the greatest plot. So
no.
I'm curious to see.
And there's a lot of plot holes in it, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I'm curious to see how this third one goes. But as long as it's making money, they're going to keep making these movies.
As long as kids keep coming out and seeing them. That's it. Sell more merch.
All right, so now in other entertainment news, Chris America, last night, our girl, Alabama Hannah B, from our favorite show, The Bachelorette, she is now on Dancing with the Stars, and she did a moving dance to Taylor Swift's Lover. And the internet is abuzz because Hannah B killed it last night. She's now my favorite to win it all.
Wow. That was a great breakdown, too, of Dancing with the Stars and Hannah Montana. Is our boy
Hannah Montana.
from the LA... Hannah Montana, yeah. Is our boy, not Lamar Odom? Yeah, is he around still?
I don't know. I didn't actually watch it.
Ah, dang.
I mean, like, I watched the video of Hannah B for like 15 seconds, and it looked pretty good. So that's my breakdown. I don't know what Lamar Odom's doing. I mean, he's either on the show still or at a brothel. Either way, he's killing it.
Gotcha. Well, Loudbeard, you know who's trending on Twitter right now?
Who's trending on Twitter right now?
Speaking of entertainment news, Toadette is trending on Twitter right now. Mario Kart is out, and Toadette, I guess, is the superstar because that's the one character people can't get enough about tweeting.
Cool.
Cool story,
Toadette.
bro.
Yeah, that is a cool story. Mario Kart, obviously one of those games that it's timeless, isn't it? Even though they re-release new versions and stuff, it's still the same game. Still the same game. It's not that much different than the Super Nintendo one originally.
No, it's not the same, but it is the same.
It is. Better graphics, more levels or whatever you call them, lands.
But
I don't
you're still
know.
just turning left and right and throwing shells at people.
Yeah, basically. They give you a better arsenal, though. They're like, let's keep adding things. Here's a bomb. Here's a triple banana. Here's a banana that never stops. You know, like they're like, okay, let's just re-release the same thing but make it like cooler. So that's all they keep doing. Keep adding it a little bit.
And of course, you know, the internet can't just let things be and just enjoy something. I'm scrolling through the Toadette, you know, trending Twitter, and of course somebody had to draw a picture of her nude. What is wrong with the world, Loudbeard? Taking like this cutesy little mushroom character and sexualizing it. It's so weird.
We live in a weird world, Chris America. And maybe we always lived in a weird world.
We
but
have.
Now people actually get to take their weirdness and show it in your face.
Just
on
put it on
social
display.
media.
Yep.
So I wanted to I wanted to apologize to somebody yesterday. I forgot their birthday, and I think I really need to make sure that I announce this on the air so that it's heard. It's heard to the millions of listeners out there. Gritty, our favorite mascot from the Philadelphia Flyers yesterday, turned 1 year old. He has officially been around a year, and I didn't wish him a happy birthday yesterday, and I've been upset about it. My stomach was turning last night. I couldn't
Loudbeard.
sleep because I
Your
didn't wish him a
Facebook
happy
didn't
birthday.
tell you that it was his birthday?
It didn't. Facebook didn't remind me. It was I'm still a little verklempt about it.
Okay. Well, Loudbeard, Memphis Spence here tweeted in at us. Thank you, Memphis Spence. He's asking us to compare college football teams to Jurassic World dinosaurs. And I got a few here that I came up with. I'm going to go with the T-Rex is the Alabama, right? It's the king
Okay.
of the dinosaurs. It eats everything in its path. It's been in almost every movie. But you're kind of tired of it, right? You're tired of seeing the T-Rex. You're wanting to see something new, something original. I'm just over the T-Rexes, Loudbeard. Are you over T-Rex?
Yes.
Oh, and also happy birthday to Kawhi's laugh from Mike Burlon. Apparently, Kawhi laughed a year ago. Was it today or yesterday, Mike? Tweeting at us. There we go. Now, the T-Rex is the Alabama. I'll say UCF are those little fast dinosaurs, those dinosaurs that run super speed, but, you know, in a pack, they like by themselves, they seem small, but in a pack, they could just really rip you apart. Do you know which ones I'm talking about? I think it was Jurassic Park 2, where they get on these yacht people go on this island, and then the girl sees the little cute dinosaurs. And she's like, "Oh, it's so cute," and then she goes to pet it, and then a whole bunch come out and just rip her face off and chew her up. I don't know the name of that dinosaur, but that's UCF.
Okay. I like that one. I don't know the name of it either. It's also UCF Twitter right there. That's how you describe it.
Yeah, that is definitely UCF Twitter. Let's say the Brontosaurus. The Brontosaurus is maybe Michigan or just Big Ten football in general. It's big, it's bulky, but it's really slow and can't get anywhere fast. But that doesn't mean it's not dangerous. That doesn't mean it can't, harm you. But sometimes, that Brontosaurus is a Michigan where it's maybe a little sickly and it really can't do anything to fight to defend itself. And other times it's a Wisconsin where it'll just stomp your face in, hit you with that big ass tail and neck and just, maybe even roll over you if it needs to, and just really uses its size to power its way through.
Okay. It's fair. I like it.
I'm trying to think of any other dinosaurs, like what a Stegosaurus would be or a Triceratops.
Okay.
Or like what an overrated dinosaur would be. Maybe that would be Notre Dame. Sorry, Mike Burlon.
I was, you know what I was waiting for?
What's that?
Going back to the dinosaur doo-doo reference that we had earlier in the show.
Oh,
I was
man.
expecting a Florida
Yeah,
State
sorry.
reference
Damn,
to,
now I
to
let you
dinosaur
down.
doo-doo.
Yeah,
I was
Florida
waiting
State is
for
the
it. I was sitting
dinosaur
here
doo-doo.
waiting.
You're right. I was too busy thinking about dinosaurs and not doo-doo, but I do appreciate that, Loudbird. Florida State is the dinosaur doo-doo of college football.
All right. Well, I have one more entertainment little tidbit here for you. So there's a new movie coming out called The Uncut Gems. There's a trailer that was just dropped, and it is kind of jumping on the back of what we talked about yesterday, where a comedic actor does more of a serious role. This is a thriller where the main character is Adam Sandler, and he's kind of a skeevy jewelry pawn shop type salesman guy who gets into trouble with gambling debt, and then it shows kind of like the underground underbelly of what his going ons are. So this is another actor that started out as a pure comedian who's trying to get into some serious roles. I don't know that I'm going to be able to take him as a serious guy, but the way they have him portrayed, it looks like it's going to be a great movie.
Now, when you said the role is a skeevy, creepy pawn shop guy, I instantly thought, so basically one of his characters in all of his movies. Not for Adam Sandler, but it's always like he always has that weird, skeevy side character that is only there for like 5 seconds and he makes like a quick quip about him. Like he goes to the pawn shop, the skeevy guy says something weird, and then Adam Sandler's like, okay, skeevy pawn shop guy, and then we laugh, and then that's the end of the scene. And it's usually like a Rob Schneider or that guy from Armageddon who's in a lot of his movies. He played Squirrely Eyes.
Bruce Willis.
No, in he played Squirrely
Ben
Eyes in
Affleck.
Mr. Deeds. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi. Yeah, he seems to make an appearance in Adam Sandler's movies, and he's always like some weird, creepy guy.
Liv
So now
Tyler.
Adam Sandler gets to play the creepy guy, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, I maybe I'm overplaying the creepiness, but he's just kind of like one of those greasy, just just that type of guy. And so it's an interesting dynamic, and it's something different from Adam Sandler. It looks like it's going to be really good. We'll have to see. Trailers always make movies look better than they actually are. So
we need some good movies, because I think since Spider-Man there hasn't really been anything come out that moves me to say, okay, I need to go drop $10 to $15 to go see that.
yeah. Well, the other movie that's getting a lot of buzz, it's not going to be theaters. I believe it's going to be on Netflix, if I remember correctly. But that El Camino, we've talked about it a few times on the show.
Yeah. I think
That's
it's going to be in select theaters and then on Netflix, October 11th.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Oh, you have
Now,
the
if you
date
know that
already?
something's on Netflix, if you know a movie's on Netflix, on your Netflix, and playing at the Oviedo Mall, will you go to the Oviedo Mall to watch it just so you can have the whole big screen experience, or you're like, it's not worth it, I'll just watch it at home and turn on my surround sound?
Yeah, I'm too frugal for that. I'll go to the
Yeah.
movies, but usually it's because I want to see something like right away. If I can see it at home, I would rather see it at home. Though I'm not big on the bootlegging. Sometimes I've heard people do this, but they download movies illegally on the internet.
Right. Talk
And,
like a pirate day.
Yeah, and the quality on those are always really crap. I can't do the bad quality. I need to watch a
Yeah.
movie in good quality. So if it's on Netflix, I'll watch it. I'm assuming there's going to be a delayed, like maybe it'll come out release in the movies, limited release, and then maybe a week or two later on Netflix. Or, I mean, that would make more sense that the people that really want to see it can go see it early, and then the people that are like, okay, I want to see it, but I'm not willing to go to the movies, can wait a couple weeks and then watch it on Netflix. I don't know. Am I crazy by saying that?
No, I think that's fair.
Yeah. I don't know if that's what they're doing or not, but it makes sense to me. I don't know.
It'll be good for Netflix, because Netflix movie selection is just awful now.
Though I started one last night, and I haven't got all the way through it, but it is absolutely fantastic. Zach Galifianakis in Between Two Ferns. Man, that guy,
I
he's
watched
funny.
the preview for that, so it is good.
It's funny. It's funny. I haven't
Okay.
gotten all the way through it. I watched about the first 25 minutes, and then what happened? I I think my wife and I were going to watch another show, and she's not into that kind of stuff. So I was like, let
Yeah.
me pause it. I'll get back to it. No big deal. And so we watched another show, The Prodigal Son, which was But anyway, that's a new show on one of the networks.
Yeah, it's that time where we're getting a lot of new shows. There's that Stumptown with the chick from Avengers and How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Supposedly, they're like ABC's been really promoting that hard these last 2 months.
You know, I like her a lot. I think that because of her, I would give that show a shot. You know, one of those ones where I maybe DVR it and then go back and catch up on it later on. Now, one show I'm looking forward to, I know you're not a HBO guy, but the Watchmen, which I've been a big fan of Watchmen forever. I've even got Watchmen tattoos on my legs. So I'm a big Watchmen fan. So HBO's got their series Watchmen coming out. I think it comes out later in October. I want to say the 20th or 22nd. But I am so pumped for that show. It looks so good.
And you know, that always felt like that should have been a show to begin with anyways, instead of a movie. Some of these comic books need to be explained out. They're so intricate that you can't just fit it all in 2.5, 3 hours. So why not make it a series, you know?
Yeah. That I'm with you on that. And they're taking a different turn on it. I think it's a post-Watchmen, really, like what happens after the actual book or movie of Watchmen. And so it's got a different twist to it, but it seems like it's going to be really good. I'm pumped for it. HBO usually does a good job on these series that they do. You know, they get a lot of credit for Sopranos and Game of Thrones, and they've done some of the best TV shows in the history of TV. And I'm hoping Watchmen becomes one of those and not one of the forgettable ones.
Yeah, and we live in an era now where I think actors think it's okay to be a big-time TV star. That is just as good as being a big-time movie star, and sometimes even better, more lucrative deals. And so I feel like we have better quality TV shows today than we did when we were growing up.
Oh, absolutely. It is a much different. I felt like before the big-time movie stars would say, okay, TV, I'm too good for that, I'm too highfalutin. Now it really crosses over quite a bit, and there's no stigma to it because if you're on one of these big-time TV shows, your career's set. You don't have to worry about it, and it makes more sense to me.
And even if they're not big-name actors, they're still really, really good actors. Like, I'm trying to think of who plays Walter White. I can't think of his name right now, but he's been a big-time actor, but not, like, huge, but he's always been a good actor. Like, there's nothing bad you've ever seen him in, and then he takes Walter White's character and just nails it.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston, that's it. Always been just an excellent actor. Never got to, like, Chris Pratt status before that. He was just always in, like, Malcolm in the Middle, and then he was, like, in a few other things but when you saw him, you were like, oh, there's Bryan Cranston. I love Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, and I think Malcolm in the Middle was that kind of that role he was associated with.
Yeah.
Until Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. And that just shows how good of an actor. We talked about that yesterday. Like, we missed him. Comedic actor turned serious. I don't know if you would put him in that category, but like you said, the comedy of Malcolm in the Middle is where we know him from, and he was just that doofy, fun-loving dad in that show.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. He is. That was a comedic role, and he was a comedic actor. That's what you looked at him as. So that was a great transformation for him, and that's how you can tell somebody's a good actor.
You know who else we missed? Even though he didn't start off as a comedic actor, he started off as a rapper, but then he transitioned to comedic actor, and that's Will Smith.
Yeah.
And then went into all these different serious roles.
No, Will Smith is also great because he was the Fresh Prince. But now when you think of Will Smith, you don't really think of him as the Fresh Prince. You just think of all the other great stuff that he's been in. Independence Day, Will Smith. And, he's really changed.
What's crazy is, as big of a rapper as he was, I think that's the last thing you think about. I think you think, sometimes I still think some people do still think Fresh Prince first when they see Will Smith, because that's where he truly just embraced, like all of America embraced him, was during Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But then you think of like Jurassic World, I Am Legend, all these other roles. Was it? No, it wasn't Tin Cup. Was it Tin? What was that movie? That was it? Bagger Vance. Well, it was like a golf movie.
Yeah, Bagger Vance.
Which one was it? Was it that one or was it Tin Cup?
Yeah, it was Bagger Vance.
Okay, yeah.
Tin Cup was Kevin Costner.
That's right. I was like, which one was that? but he's just been in a lot of great roles, and I kind of want to see this new one coming out where he's got to fight his clone.
Yeah, it actually looks pretty good.
I don't know if I want like movie theater to see it, but definitely Redbox.
Yeah, it's a when it gets to Netflix or to, something like that, like you said, Redbox, it might be worth it at that point. Wow, Chris American, we got into movie talk and TV talk, and it is 6:55.
Maybe
I don't know what happened to the show.
Maybe that could be our draft tomorrow. Comedic actors turned serious actors.
That is going to be our draft. I'm going to think about this all day now. Thanks a lot.
That's true. That's true, Mike Berlant. Tweeting in right at the last second. Even on Fresh Prince, Will was showing his range. The dad abandoning him scene where he says, "How come he don't want me, man?" Oh, gets me every time, Loudbeard. I'm looking at this GIF and I'm about to cry.
Oh, my God. That's the worst. Oh, so good.